Welcome to Just a Peek podcast. I'm Molly.
And I'm Derek.
And this is the Stories Edition, where we like to either swap stories with each other that we probably haven't told the other person. Sometimes we do. Or we like to collaborate and tell a story together. If you're interested in the last two episodes that we did, our second episode was about the time that we lived above an adult club and all the joys and horrors that I'm sure you can imagine that come with that. And the first episode is scars that we got mostly when we were children and how we got the scars and mostly how we were being complete idiots. But this edition is about our worst experience with IKEA. Now, this is no shade to IKEA, so if you're looking for some drama or anything like that, you better go somewhere else. This is just our story about how we were idiots, and it happens to involve IKEA. This could have happened in a lot of situations with us.
Look at Dennis at Walmart.
So it has nothing to do with IKEA. Not any shade towards them. Just wanted to put that little disclaimer in there. So on to the story. So to set the stage, this is finals week. If you are in college, you know what this is. If you're not, finals week is where all of your classes basically have a test in this 1 week. And the schedule is different than your normal class week, and it's just kind of weird. Your final exam, basically, is for this class. It could be a presentation, a test, whatever. And it generally is about like 20% of your grade, if not more. So it's like a big deal. And generally people get pretty stressed out during this time. Well, on this specific lovely day, Derek didn't have a final, but he did have a final tomorrow at 8 a.m. So we decided to go to IKEA.
You know, just like every other normal college kid does, you know, like in the last couple days of the semester, we just, went to IKEA.
Yeah. And we assumed that like it'd be completely fine to get back because IKEA closes at 9. We can't be out later than, like, 10, max.
Yeah, like, worst case scenario, maybe, like, 10:30 if we have to, like, stop on the way home or something.
But, like, we're gonna be home just fine. So, that was what we thought going into it. I remember we left the house really, really late. We, like, ate at 2, got ready, finally got out of the house around, like, 3 or 4, or got to IKEA around 4. And we kind of had the idea that we were going to go to IKEA to, one, just look at some stuff. I wanted to pick up some stuff for the blog, like different plates and other shenanigans. And just kind of look at some other stuff that we wanted for the house, like little dish towels and stupid stuff. And look at possibly getting a couch. We wanted a new couch because our old couch is utterly destroyed by our cats.
It's like this cheap, like, pleather, you know, like fake leather knockoff stuff, and the cat's got their claws in it, and the smooth top leathery part just kind of ripped right off from everything else. Yeah,
it's just like deteriorating, and you get like little flakes of black stuff all over you if you sit on it, and just, it's not good. So we'll just look. We'll take a gander. That's it. We'll just look. No. Obviously, that's not what you guys are here for. So, basically, we get to IKEA. We kind of just wander through, taking our time. Remember, we're here for multiple things. We're just kind of looking and perusing and picking up some little knickknacks and stuff. We get some coffee. We're looking at kitchens, talking about, oh, if we have this kitchen, I'll do this, and oh, I like this, and oh, this kitchen's ugly, and like, all these imaginary kitchens we supposedly would have and how they would change. And, yeah, just having a good time, being weird, running through the aisles, picking up stuff, playing with stuff, being dorks.
Reading the weird Swedish names on things.
Yeah. And so, we finally, like, go through, you know, all the sections. If you've ever been in IKEA, it's like, I should also define what IKEA is. If you're confused at this point, I don't know. I mean, you should know what IKEA is. It's everywhere. But IKEA is basically a huge furniture store, basically, or just, like, huge home store. They have curtains and couches and, like I said before, like dish towels to cutting boards to, you know, toilet seat covers, like everything. Anything for your home that you can think of, they have. They even have food items, and generally they tend to be really, really cheaply made items. Not cheaply made, but they have cheap options. They have more expensive options. But everything is supposed to be for compact living. So a lot of the items, and not everything, like they have big couches and stuff like that, but they kind of have like weird designs, weird shapes to things, and they try to be like innovative, and they also like to try to support people that are living in very small areas to be able to decorate beautifully in there. But again, they have a whole range of stuff. IKEA is like everything. Anyways, if you've ever been in IKEA, when you're walking through, you have like what's called the showrooms, and these are little rooms that they put together to kind of show off all the items that they have. And then as you continue to walk through, you get through different little sections that are like little individual small items, like the lamps, and you eventually get to like tables, and then you get to like the kitchen area that has like all the cutting boards and silverware and a ton of stuff like that. And then there's like a small section for couches. So it's just kind of sprinkled in through there. And then at the very end, there's a huge warehouse area where you can get the bigger items like the wardrobes and the couches and stuff like that, go pick up the box, put them in your cart, and then you eventually check out. So that's kind of how it's laid out. So when we got there, we were just kind of going through the showrooms, and we had finally gotten, at this point in the story, to the end of IKEA, to the warehouse, had picked up all of our little knickknacks, and decided to kind of start looking more seriously at couches. So we went back to the couch section.
Which, keep in mind, IKEA is huge. So back to the couch section is like a walk and a half. It's not just right there. So when we're running around IKEA, we're like literally like running.
Yeah, it's huge. And 2 floors and just... Is it 3? No, it's 2. It's 2. I'm sure there's others that are like 3 and different, but yeah. So we start kind of looking at couches and kind of joking around and sitting on them and moving them around and trying to look for something that's maybe like a multitasker. So like a sleeper bed, like that you could, a sofa bed where you can pull out the like couch cushion. Now it's a bed all of a sudden. We like those. We have people that stay over with us sometimes and would like to have like a little bed right out in the living room, and looking at something that would be, I forget what they're called, like the L-shaped couches. Is there a specific name?
Sectional?
Yeah, sectional. We're looking at those because that's what we had before. We liked how it fit in the room, and we weren't trying to like redecorate or anything at this time. So anyways, we were just kind of looking around and sitting our butts on things and taking forever. So we finally find a couch that we like, and we go back down to the warehouse. So
we get down to the warehouse, and the box is it's huge. It's like 3 giant boxes.
It's like a queen-sized bed if they were all put together, with like plus a box spring. Like that's how thick it was and how wide and like long. They like all the boxes together were huge.
Like I'd almost wonder if the couch would be smaller and easier to transport if it was like assembled.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, the goal of the IKEA trip to just look at couches and pick up knickknacks and such turned into what couch will fit into Derek's sedan. And
yeah, that's the other mistake we made. We drove to IKEA in my car, a 4-door sedan. We own a Jeep, one big enough to, take a couch home in. But no, we brought my 4-door sedan.
And I feel like when we left the house, we even asked, like, should we take the Jeep? And we don't like to take the Jeep everywhere. It's not, like, running the greatest. We try not to, like, use it for long trips. It can definitely, like, make it down there, but it's just kind of like, if we don't have to, why not? And I think at the time when we were leaving, I was like, let's take your car and the Jeep's mine, the sedan's Derek's. So I was like, let's take your car so we can't possibly get a couch. It's kind of like, we're just looking. And the other thing before we left is we said if we find something we really like, we'll just come back tomorrow after your final.
Because my final's at 8 a.m. I didn't work the next day, so like I was going to be done by like 11 o'clock max in the morning.
Yeah, so like we could totally come back tomorrow with the Jeep, and then that way we're not taking the Jeep down unnecessarily, and we don't need to buy a couch tonight, and we can sleep on it. We're being very responsible adults here when we left for IKEA.
Great plan, trying to protect ourselves from ourselves. But yeah.
So now, at this point, everything's changed. Now, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's just us or if it's like a couple thing, or like, if you're just with like one other person, and maybe you guys can let me know. But I just felt like we started to get to the point where like we weren't thinking rationally, and we were like winding each other up about like getting this couch and what was important. Like neither of us could pull our head out of her.
Yeah, we were just sitting there, enabling each other. It was like, yeah, let's do that. And if we look back at it, we're like, why were we even thinking that? This was such a stupid idea.
Why were we like still looking at couches then? Like, why didn't we just go home?
Mm-hmm.
The couch didn't fit. Time to go home. We need the Jeep.
Then we're freaking out like, oh man, they closed in like half an hour or whatever, and we gotta find one that'll fit in the car, instead of just like, no, go home and like come back. Like this isn't the only day ever that IKEA is open.
Yeah, and at this point I think like it still had like, we had like an hour and a half before it closed. So mind you, we got in around 4 and IKEA closes at 8. So we've like already spent like about 3.5 hours here. So, like, we're getting tired. I was starving at this point, but, like, still so, I don't know why, but I was so stressed out about, like, finding this couch. Like, it seems so, like, we had to get it then, and I just don't know why we, like, couldn't step back and be like, time to walk away. And, like I said, I don't know if it's just, that's just an us thing. I feel like it happens to other people, but maybe not. But anyways, so upon realizing that the couch wasn't going to fit into your car, we run back upstairs to and like legit we're like running because we're realizing now that we don't have a lot of time, and at this point we have to get a couch. Have to. So we run to the couch department and we start sitting on things and moving things around and start talking about like, well, what about this one? Well, this one's a little bit out of our price range. What about this? Well, we could finance this one. What about this and do this? And let's, this one would totally fit. And like, for whatever reason, the goal became to get something small, cheap, and neutral colored, which isn't like the easiest task.
It seems like couches, they either are small and weird and look like a futon, or they are a futon, or they're huge.
Yeah, or leather, which again, we're not going to go down that route. We have 4 cats. They all have multiple claws. There's a lot happening there. It's like little knives running around.
We need something that can stand up to, well, basically sandpaper, so...
Sandpaper? This is worse than sandpaper. Freaking Wolverine.
Tiny daggers.
Anyways, so we're running around the couch department, like, frantically looking at everything that we could possibly get and trying to compare and decide what we should do. And then this guy comes up to us. And mind you, like, we're on a time limit now. It's crunch time. But we're trying to be friendly. And this guy comes up to us and starts talking to us. And at first it just seems like he's like, hey, what's up? And like, how are you? What's going on? And then it quickly turns into like, join my pyramid scheme. But I'm not going to let you know what the pyramid scheme's about. And also, I'm not really sure what it's about. And I don't have their number. And well, it's somebody else's pyramid scheme. Yeah, me and my wife just started this pyramid scheme. But I don't really know much about it. But they would love to have people that are young and smart and interested like you guys. Oh, you want to know more about what their names are and what the pyramid scheme's about? Yeah, I don't really know, and I'm not going to offer any information or give you any hint on where to go to find said information. Like, I don't even know what the end goal was.
Well, and he kept saying it's such an innovative idea, but it's so cool, but if I don't want to give too much away, and from what I got, it sounds like they go and like finance things at like Best Buy and then resell them for more than Best Buy sells them for. It's about all I really could guess from what he was saying. Which is stupid, because then just about anybody could go finance it at Best Buy.
Yeah. So it was just kind of like... But again, he didn't even give us that much information for us to even know if that's what it was. Like, for all I know, we would be selling makeup. I have no idea.
Yeah, he could work for Mary Kay for all we know.
No idea, just like... And he was being nice, and it was such like a weird mix between like, I'm gonna hard sell you like a sleazy car salesman on this pyramid scheme, and let's just catch up like old friends, and I'm about to ask you guys if you want to have a couple drinks with me and my wife. Like, it was just like a weird combination of like what was happening. And he just like was being friendly and like asked if we were married, and we're not, and like if we were gonna be, and then it got really awkward because that's a little personal, and I was straight up, I was like, I don't know yet, like... Are you gonna get a divorce? Like,
yeah, how's your marriage going? You in couples counseling? Like,
it was just awkward, and it was like really personal questions, and then back to the hard sell on the pyramid scheme. So this guy takes up like a half an hour of our time, and very obviously we're like trying to walk away from the situation, and it was just like a weird situation that like it felt so surreal being in it. Like, it was just like, what is happening right now? And I'm like not even sure entirely what happened while we were there. Things got messy after this.
And we both keep giving each other the, what is going on look, like the back and forth, like, is this guy ever going to shut up, or
yeah,
how do we get out of this?
And we were trying to be nice about it because we didn't want to, be mean or anything like that, or be off-putting. But anyways, so we finally finished talking to this guy. Nothing comes of it. No information exchanged or otherwise.
Didn't even have a business card.
Yeah, never see or hear from him again, probably. And we immediately start running around trying to look at couches again. So we finally find this small couch in the corner of IKEA. And there's like 6 of them for whatever reason. And I think it's so they could display all the different colors. But we find this little tiny couch. It's a love seat. I think that's what it's called. And I thought it looked like a couch for a dollhouse. It's just, you look so big on it. Like, you sat down and I was like, that you look awkward. I'm sure I look normal sized. I'm sure I fit right in with it. I'm like a kid. I'm 5 feet tall.
Well, IKEA definitely has very distinctly, like, kid things. Like, isn't that where you kept seeing the little mini couch that's for, like, your pets and stuff?
Oh, but it was like $150.
It was like leather for, like, a cat or a dog to lay on, and it looked just like a tiny little leather couch.
Well, but they had a couch that was like that couch exactly for, like, you know, obviously the normal human-sized one, and then they just made it miniature for your dog, so, like, your dog could have a freaking matching couches. Like, I thought it was the coolest thing. But obviously it's very expensive, and I'll just make one out of a box and get as much enjoyment out of it, so whatever.
So point being, obviously IKEA does make smaller things or things that are designed to, like, just go into a kid's room or something like that.
Yeah, and so I just was very hesitant because we were going from a couch that, like, my parents had in their house that... in a huge room that filled the room that sat, like, I don't even know, like 5 to 6 people probably. Cramming a little bit, but, like, could definitely fit 5 to 6 people. So anyways, seeing this couch in comparison that was only 2 seats, obviously that's why I love seat, but that only sat 2 people, maybe 3.
If you're real cozy with the 3 people, yeah.
Like, it was a little bit hard to really fathom that going into our house. We then decided to look at it more carefully, and we played the whole game of, like, well, if we do this, and we could do that, and we basically redecorated the entire living room while we're sitting there trying to pick out this couch, which, by the way, if you have to redecorate your entire house to fit up one piece of furniture in, unless you're, like, have a new house or you're, like, looking to do this, you probably shouldn't get that piece of furniture. Like, we didn't have the means... or really the time even, or even, like, the want to redecorate the house. But we, at this point in our minds, we're starting to. And so we start being like, oh, well, if we move the cat treat over here, then the couch could be here, and then we could do this, and then this, and then, oh, and it'll be fantastic, and perfect, let's get it. And then we decide we're going to get this love seat in black. So we go downstairs to the warehouse, again, running, because at this point I think we have, like, an hour left. Probably less. I think we have like 45 minutes left. I don't even know. So we start running around and we finally get down to the warehouse. We find the couch, but they come with a separate cover. So you can, like, take the cover off and, like, wash it and then put it back on and you tuck it in and everything. And it looks really nice, but it's removable. And so we're looking for this black cover and we're looking frantically and we can't find it. So finally I go and ask an IKEA employee where it is. He looks up and he goes, oh, sorry, those are discontinued. And I got so mad. Like, if it's been discontinued, like, do you know how long it takes for something to become discontinued? Like, it's not like just one day you sell out of it and IKEA's like, yeah, that's discontinued now. Like, it sells out, it probably was on sale for a while, like, and this piece of fabric to let you know what color and texture the black cover would be is still upstairs as an option.
It has the price on it and everything. It even says it's discounted a bit.
Yeah.
Which, what did we get that, like, last time we were in there, it said last chance, and we bought it, like, a year and a half ago, and it said last chance, and just as last time we were in there, it still says last chance, and you can still buy it. So, like, stuff goes away for, like, a long time.
Yeah. I think it was the lantern, if I remember correctly. Or, I can't remember exactly. But anyways, my point being is that, like, if it was gone, then, like, take the black swatch off. But whatever. That's the one beef I have with them right now. And maybe it was just an oversight, and maybe the last one just recently got bought, but whatever. So we then decide that we didn't come this far to not get a couch. We're going to go back up to the couch section, and we are going to look at more couches. We are going to increase our price limit, and we are going to find something, damn it.
And then figure out how to put it on the car.
So we start looking around all frantically. We decided to first start with looking back at colors for that small couch again. Didn't like anything. So then we start running around all through the couch department looking at it. And I remember the lady that was working the couch department at that time was kind of giving us, like, a dirty look. Because she's like, dude, it's closing. You're going to buy a couch with, like, 30 minutes to close. So she was, like, giving us the stink eye, and you could tell she, like, really wanted us to leave.
Kept coming over, like, close to us and, like, rearranging the pillows on things and walking away, then coming back and rearranging the pillows on something else.
Yeah, she was down our necks. And it's like, girl, you don't close for another half an hour. I got free range. Like, yes, if it was like 10 minutes, sure, like kind of you can start cleaning up and stuff like that. But like 30 minutes, I can do a lot in 30 minutes, okay? I can look at a lot of couches and sit my butts on them, and I got time. So we start frantically looking at all these couches and looking online to see what colors they have and like what would be the best option and like what the dimensions are and like and looking on the tags for dimensions and stuff like that, and we're just like not finding anything. So we return to the little love seat and we start looking at all these colors and stuff like that, and we finally decide that gray wouldn't be a bad color. And I wasn't super happy with like the texture. It's kind of it was kind of just like a
canvasy kind of?
Like a canvasy texture. And it wasn't pure gray. It was like canvasy texture with like, you know, black and whites and like maybe a dark gray and a light gray mixed into like all the threads. And that like as a whole it looks gray, but up close it looks like little speckles of those colors. So anyway, so we finally get that, and I was a little like timid because I haven't really had free range to like do a room, and the couch is kind of a big part of a room. So we get downstairs and we start getting the couch on board, and I start looking at pillows. I remember that. I was like, we need pillows for whatever reason. We just got a couch, and now I need to make sure that the pillows that we're going to get match.
Yeah, in our last, 15 minutes or whatever, she's running around through the pillow section.
So you get the couch on the thing, and we're having kind of trouble finding the cover. Eventually we find it. 5 minutes till close, we go and check out. And we're like, I was pretty happy. I was like, we did it. We freaking got a couch in a day. I like it because I'm going to like it now because I decided I was going to like it. And we got pillows and all this other stuff we didn't need. And let's go home. And so we scoot our little cart outside. And I think that was like the moment that we realized that it wasn't going to fit.
It's amazing how much smaller your car looks when you walk outside with a couch on a cart.
Yeah. And it was like all of a sudden we were like, crap.
I think I even said like, should we just walk back in and return this? Or at least I thought that.
I think you actually did say it, and I was like, no, we got this. We fit the wardrobe in last time. And the wardrobe I'm talking about is a really, really big wardrobe when it's made. But obviously when it's not all put together and has a bunch of hollow space in the center, it like collapses down to a pretty thin but long box.
Yeah, because it's like 7-something feet tall. So like the box is still really long. It's just only like 4 or 5 inches thick.
And I would say that the couch box was probably the size the wardrobe is assembled.
Yes.
Maybe not 7 feet long, but it was
a little
very
smaller,
thick.
but yeah.
Very thick. And so I don't know, there was no comparison between, we got the wardrobe box in here last time, we'll get the couch this time. So we start getting the couch, trying to push it in and figure out how to get it in. That's not working. So we take off this packaging that was on the outside, thinking that, we could probably separate the couch pieces and then get it in pieces. No, the couch was definitely one solid frame.
Yeah, like it was pretty much a box in a bag around the outside. No padding, nothing, just like a thin little box around the outside
just
of it.
to like protect the corners basically and make it easy to like grab and stuff. And I remember this, I remember this guy, while we're like doing all this, the packaging, we had like kind of put in like a little pile near us, and we were trying to do stuff with it, and he like came up to us and was like, you need to pick this up. And I was like, that's not RMS. And somebody else, like right before we got out there, like while we were walking out, they just put their stuff in their car and left all their packaging just sitting there. So then the guy's like, no, you need to pick this up. I'm like, that's not ours. And he's like, I don't care, it needs picked up. And I was like, what? That's not like, and we're already stressed out because like it's like 9:30 at this point, and we've been trying to get this couch in for half an hour. We can't return the couch at this point. We're looking up like U-Haul options. We're looking up friends that are nearby, trying to figure out how we can get this couch home. And then this guy comes up trying to complain about this packaging on the floor that's not even ours, and like I'm pretty sure it's his job to pick it up, and I don't know, it just kind of pissed me off because like it wasn't our fault, and he was trying to act like we were being horrible people for leaving this packaging on the floor that we didn't even actually leave.
Well, it's a box. Like, the IKEA boxes say what's on them. Like, we're sitting here with a couch and a car. It's not super obvious it is super obvious to be like, yeah, the mattress or whatever you're complaining about over there is not what we're trying to cram into our car right now.
Yeah, and then he just like kind of gave me a dirty look, and he eventually left, and I was like, okay, whatever. And so it gets to the point where, like, again, as I mentioned earlier, we're trying to find, like, U-Hauls or friends nearby, or who could we call, or what's still open, and could we take the doors off the car and get the thing in? Could we do this?
Meanwhile, I'm disassembling the inside of the car, taking, like, door panels off and, like, the center console out and all kinds of stuff to try and make it where it just had enough room to wiggle in, and yeah, that didn't work.
And I'm, like, frantically calling people and trying to see if, like, we could even just drop the couch off by somebody's house that's nearby and come get it tomorrow, so we don't have to, like, have somebody drive us all the way back up to our place. And at this point, with all of this franticness, it's about, I would say, 10:30, or 10. It's about 10. And this, 10:15, 10:20. And this employee comes out, and he walks out, and we see him, and the whole time that we're trying to do all this, a guy is sitting in his car watching us, and I'm sure laughing his butt off, because I would be. And this IKEA employee comes out and then gets into that car that's been watching us. Well, he then gets out of the car and comes up to us and says, "I'm so sorry, I didn't realize you guys have been here. I heard you guys have been struggling. How can I help?" And this was godsend. Like, I don't know if you guys know, probably not. I have really bad back problems, and I've been trying to work on them for, like, the last couple of years, and it gets to a point where, like, I can't even get out of bed sometimes. Really bad back problems. And so doing all of this, like, there wasn't much that I could help with, and I was trying my hardest, and I was already starting to, like, really hurt my back. So this guy comes up, and we're getting to the point where it's like, maybe we should put the couch onto the roof of the car. And, like, we were kind of thinking about that, and this guy comes up, and he's like, "I'm so sorry, I didn't realize you guys were out here. What can I do? You know, can it get in through here?" So he also tried a couple different angles with the couch that I couldn't have helped with Derek do, because they were, like, a lot of strength and stuff like that I just couldn't provide. And then eventually the guy goes, "Let's try the roof." And Derek's like, I guess. Because you're a little sensitive about your car, and you're very particular about, like, how the trunk shuts.
Oh, no, I didn't care about it going on the roof or sitting on the roof. It was more, I didn't trust it to stay on the roof all the way home.
Oh, I thought you were being particular about it. But anyway, so this guy, thank God he was there, helps us get the couch onto this roof. And, like, that wouldn't have been possible with just me. Like, I honestly don't think we would have had that as an option, because I don't think I could have done it or helped at all. So he helps us get the couch on the roof, and then he says that he can't help us tie it down for legality reasons, which totally makes sense. I get that. If the couch comes flying off, then you're gonna be, "I'm suing IKEA because their employee tied it down. They didn't tie it down right." And, like, I get why. So he says he can't help us out, but is there anything else he can help out that we can think of now? And he could see if he could help. And we're like, "No, I don't think so. Thank you so much for what you did." I was so freaking happy he came. Like, just, it was amazing. So helped us out, and then we start moving on to looking up how you tie something down to a roof. Neither of us had done that, whether it was legal, too. I'm sure if IKEA was suggesting it, it probably was, but we were a little concerned, like, are we going to get in trouble for this? Are we going to get pulled over and then freaking just have a fee for this couch that we didn't even need in the first place, or a fine?
Well, and then, of course, IKEA supplies you twine. I wasn't a Boy Scout. I don't know how to tie all these different knots and stuff to make sure that things are secure and tie them in a way that you can cinch them up and get them all nice and tight. Like, I can tie my shoes. That's about, like, the extent of, like, knots that I remember. So...
Anyways, so we, you know, after deciding that, yes, we could put it on the roof, I mean, and that was pretty much our only option at this point. It was on said roof. It was happening. We start looking up ways to tie knots, and there are not a lot of helpful... Well, that's the other thing, is our phones were starting to die, and yet you had a car charger, but, like, they were getting to the point where, like, it wasn't really charging because we were looking at, like, videos and stuff, and the car charger isn't that powerful, and, like, we only had one phone, and it's freezing outside, and so we're, like, trying desperately to, like, look up these videos and stuff on the little bit of charge that we have left on the one phone that's not plugged in, and then trying to, you know, do what we can on the other phone. And people have these weird videos that, like, I'm gonna tie the knot, and, like, right when they do the really super important part, they, like, put their hand in front of it, and you're like, wait, what happened? And, like, we could not find...
Or that one guy, you just tie a trucker's hitch and then wrap it around the tree and tighten it up and tie this other thing. And I'm like, what? Okay, that's not super helpful if I don't know how to tie either one of the knots you just told me to tie.
Yeah, and he was just like, you do it real simple. You do it here, and we were just like, what the...
And he's talking so slow, and then it gets to the part where he's tying them, and they're, like, tied, and he's done. Like, just, like, immediately.
He's like... This rope, I really like this rope. This is the best rope I've ever had. See, it has this, and it's green, so you know it's this rope, and blah, 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 blah. And, like, went on for so long about
like,
the
whoop,
rope.
It's tight, and you're like, what?
Yeah, and then it's just tied. And I was just like, oh my goodness. So we finally find, like, a video that kind of half makes sense, and Derek starts tying it because I was too short to really, like, reach up and, like, help tie and stuff. And I'm also shivering so bad. I remember that, like, I could not stay warm.
She was, like, shaking.
Well, and that's the thing is it's beginning to, at this point it was May, so it was supposed to be warming up. And we didn't bring jackets. Why would we bring jackets? Like,
because it's nice and warm during the day, but it still gets, like, really cold at night.
And, like, we were going to be out at night. You had an 8 a.m. tomorrow. So, you finally learn how to do some of the knots, and it takes you forever, like 45 minutes to figure out how to do these knots. And I remember I'm just sitting there like, I don't know how to help you, but you're taking so damn long. Like, can you make this any quicker at this point? So finally, you figure it all out. You get them tied on, and we decide to be safe to head to Walmart to get, what is it called, ratcheting straps?
Yeah, you, like, put them through, and it's got this little lever. You, like, click back and forth, and it makes them tighter. Basically,
we decided to get some of those just to make sure that it was extra secure. And looking at the time, so by the time you got all the things knotted, and we came to that conclusion, and that Walmart near us for sure had it, we would have 10 minutes in Walmart when we got there before it closed at midnight. Driving as fast as we could, but safely. I don't actually think, because we're like, 10 minutes, that's fine. We can get in there, get a ratcheting strap, be fine. So you take a look, we finally get to Walmart. I stay outside with the car because I didn't want anybody to, like, steal our couch or something. I don't know. I'm in full-blown, like, haven't eaten, stressed out, don't know what to do, just irrational mode, like, to where things don't really quite make sense, and, like, you're jumping to conclusions that are unnecessary. And you head into Walmart. And I don't know how that went for you. I wasn't there.
It was pretty quick and easy. It was, I mean, I had a guess of what section they were going to be in, and they happened to be in that section, so...
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, no, that was good. And, yeah, so I'm in there, and, you know, we realize at this point we're hungry. Pretty much nothing's open or is way out of the way to go to for food.
It's going to close in, like, the 10 minutes that we have to be in Walmart.
Closes at midnight, and we are not going to make it there by then. So I don't know if we're on the phone or if we talked about it before I went in or something. Anyway, so I get the ratcheting things, and then I'm running around Walmart trying to get food.
No, you didn't tell me, because I remember I'm sitting there in the car going, is he going to come back out? Is everything okay? Like, what's going on? And you were trying to, I think, call or text me or something. Or maybe I was trying to text you if you were okay. And I think I was texting you to pick up some food and texting you, like, can you get donuts? Can you get this? Can you get some apples? Like, stuff I wanted, but you weren't getting them because your phone had died. Because my phone was what we were keeping plugged in the car when you were doing the knots, because I had friends I was texting to see if they could help us at all.
And you had more charge to start with, too, so it made more sense to...
keep mine alive. You then come out with all these bags, and I was like, oh, cool, he got food. Great. You picked up the stupidest things. Like, the stupidest items.
She's going to tell you what I got, and then I guess you guys can tell me. I thought I did okay.
So, if you don't know, we're gluten-free. Derek has some issues with gluten. He just kind of, basically the same reaction that lactose intolerant people would get with gluten is basically what you get. You're just gluten intolerant. Not celiac, nothing else, just gluten intolerant. And it's pretty sensitive. I mean, you can have some, like, soy sauce and stuff like that sometimes, but, like, you can get headaches really easily and get some, you know, tummy issues really easily. And also at this point, we had only been gluten-free for like a couple months, 6 months, I think, maybe, yeah, I think about 6 months.
Not a whole lot of time.
So we didn't like know all the ins and outs and everything. I do understand why you brought out what you did for what you had the means to get. Obviously, like, what's gluten-free at Walmart, of all places. But you bring out 2 bags of chips, family-sized, Doritos, and was it barbecue?
No. Sour cream and onion and barbecue.
Sour cream and onion and barbecue. So you made a mistake there. Doritos are my favorite. Everybody knows that. So whatever. Then you bring out some fruit snacks. That's fine. We still have them. They're sitting on our counter right now. We don't eat them. Never have really eaten fruit snacks ever when I have known you. But you bought them. I don't remember if there was anything else besides this. You brought out a whole thing of chicken lunch meat. And a whole thing of, was it ham or roast beef lunch meat? Turkey lunch meat. That's it. Just the lunch meat. Just freaking huge containers of lunch meat with some chips and some freaking fruit gummies.
Hey, I got you a roll of donuts.
Oh, you did give me a roll of donuts. That's right. I was like, there was something. And, and 2 Starbucks coffees.
Because we're like, at this point, man, we still got a drive home.
Like 2
we gotta
hours.
get this thing off the top of the car. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a night still.
So you get the ratchet strap on and stuff like that, and I'm kind of going through our loot, and I try to eat some, like, chips and stuff like that, but just, I was so, like, past that point of hungry that I got nauseous, and, like, nothing was working. And you ended up drinking my Starbucks and your Starbucks.
Yep.
And I chose not to drink coffee because I knew we were going to get home soon and I wanted to sleep, which that was completely opposite, as you'll hear here in a minute. And so we get on the road. I start handing you handfuls of meat for you to eat because you're driving. And we're on the road. And we're taking back streets, which I guess, I don't know, this part, I guess I thought it was kind of fun. Like, looking back, I thought it was cute. And while you're driving, I'm handing you handfuls of meat and chips and stuff, and I'm reading off questions that would possibly be on your test from your chapters, like going over the chapters and reading, basically just reading to you facts, and then you'd restate them to me to make sure that you understood. And then, because it's for accounting.
Yeah, we're in the car. I'm driving, eating lunch meat, drinking coffee, trying to make sure the couch is staying on.
That combination
Yeah,
sounds so
it doesn't sound
freaking
very good.
gross.
So we're doing all that, and then she's reading off, like, income tax. Like, that was the class, was, like, income tax accounting stuff to me. And I'm sitting there tired after this very long day at, like, well past midnight trying to remember accounting stuff.
And I also, I mean, I'm sure this happens to a lot of people, so I'm already nauseous from not eating, which is, like, a completely different nauseous than I've, like, ever experienced. It's, like, it gets to the point where my body's like, oh, you're not gonna eat? Well, guess what? We don't even want you to eat. We're gonna make it to where you don't even get to choose to eat because you didn't feed us. And I get, like, so sick, and it's, like, I get dizzy and shaky and nauseous because I haven't eaten anything. My blood sugar's low. It's just horrible. And then I'm trying to sit there and read in the car these notes off my phone, bouncing all around and getting super nauseous. Like, it was just the worst of the worst. It was just horrible. We make the journey the whole 2.5... Was it 2.5 hours at the end, or was it only 2 hours?
It was quite a while. Because IKEA for us is about, depending on traffic, like a little over an hour to like an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
And then we were on, back roads. And when we finally did, like, have to get on a highway, we had to drive down at, like, 40 miles an hour with the emergency zone, which was fine. It was, like, way early in the morning. I don't even think we saw a single other car on the road the whole time.
We did. Don't exaggerate. But
on the highway?
Yeah, we totally did. There was a couple people that passed you that we were concerned weren't going to pass you. Because you had your hazards on. We were nice about it. Hazards on, right lane. Trying to let people know that, like, hey, totally pass us. We're going slow. And they did. And
you can see the couch on top of the car.
Yeah,
like it's very obvious why we're going slow.
But I was going to say, at this point, mind you, sorry, a bit of backtracking, since we're still talking about our way home. The couch has been unwrapped. And we get, like, 15 minutes away from Walmart. And it begins to rain. And, like, at first it sprinkled. And then it started to pour. Just to paint the full picture. On our way home, it's raining. The windows are slightly cracked so that the, like, strings, because at first you went through the window because somebody said to do that, and then you rethought about it and you went through the door instead on the front two for the twine. So the back two windows are slightly cracked because of the twine, and loud as ever, like the loudest thing I've ever heard driving that car, and it's raining, and there's water coming inside the car, there's water all over the couch. I'm feeding you freaking Starbucks, chips, and lunch meat, trying to read off these notes that I'm so tired I can barely even see straight, and I feel like I'm talking like a sloth.
Imagine getting pulled over and this was the situation they walk up.
I'd be so mad. I'd be like, can you just drive me somewhere so I can sleep? Like, I don't even care at this point.
Know what? Just book it for the night. You got little cots and stuff in there, right?
Yeah, so we basically just... That was the entirety of the way home. And we got through quite a few chapters, if I remember, of your test.
Quite a bit. Like, I think out of, 12 chapters, I think we got through at least, 7 or 8 of them. Yeah,
we did pretty good. And when you had me start at the ones that you thought you needed the most, and we worked our ways from there.
Kind of started with, the most recent stuff that I hadn't, had a test on yet. So I needed to remember a little more in the old stuff I'd already studied a bunch.
So we get home, and it's, 2:30 a.m. 2:30 in the morning.
Really, really.
And at first, we just really quickly, because it's still raining a lot at this point, and it's still freezing. So we quickly get the couch into the Jeep so that it's out of the rain. Then we head upstairs, we pee, because I had to pee so bad at that point, because we didn't stop for our entire 2.5 hour journey. You had drank 2 Starbucks, I'm sure you had to pee really bad too. And I'm still, at this point, very dizzy, nauseous, hungry, shaky, need food, can't stomach it, and trying to figure that out. And then I start to be like, I don't really want to leave the couch in the Jeep to get soggy overnight. Like, we need to dry it out. So then we put on coats and stuff like that, so at least it's a little bit warmer, and we go down and get the couch and take it up the stairs, which sucked. At least
because we're tired. It's 2:30 in the morning.
Didn't
Freezing
really eat.
still. We still haven't, like, warmed back up.
Yes, and I'm still wet.
We're carrying a couch up the stairs.
Yeah, and my back's killing me at this point because all the stuff we did before, so, like, my back's already hurt. And, like, it took everything we had to, like, do it.
And keep in mind, we live on the 4th top floor of our apartment complex, and everything has high ceilings, so the stairs are very long and big. Like, it's a lot of stairs, and
like
there's no elevator.
Every floor has vaulted ceilings. Like, not just the top floor, that like, some apartment, like, everybody does. So, like, it's huge, like, spaces in between floors. The stairs are very tall, very long. Like, it takes forever. So, anyways, we get the couch in. That was the other thing, is there's a pain in the butt to get it through the door. We finally get it in. We set it down. You immediately head off to bed.
No, I helped you dry for a bit.
No, you didn't. Oh, you did. I'm sorry. Yep, I'm sorry. You helped me pat off the water. I was saying the blow dryer. I was like, no, you didn't. You pieced out at the blow dryer. There's only one.
I helped you with, like, towels and, like,
yeah, so we,
putting
like,
it on.
first started patting at the couch. And thank goodness the cover wasn't on, because nothing, like, leaked or, like, dye didn't go everywhere. Or, like, I don't know, gross dirt didn't get on the cover. We just got a little bit of dirt, like, on some of the inside parts, but it wasn't even that bad. I think it's all off at this point. But we're patting the water out. You head to bed at this point. I start blow drying the couch out. And I do that for, like, I don't know, probably, like, 45 minutes. And it actually dried fairly nice. I didn't see any huge issues. However, when we got it into the kitchen, I realized that all night you were grabbing at the back of the couch that was just, like, a piece of... What is that? It's not plywood, it's...
It's like really, really thin particle board.
Yeah.
They use it so that when you put the cover on, there's like a little, like, tiny, tiny thin fabric padding on one side of it, and then when you put the cover on, it's supposed to, like, hold the cover out, even though it's just, like, empty space behind it going into the inside of the couch. So it's not very strong.
Okay, but I didn't know that at this point. So it's this very thin piece of wood, or whatever, particle board, that basically you cracked in half. So, just bought this couch, it's wet, it has some dirt on it, and now has a huge crack in this wood. And at first I was like, oh my goodness. And looking, at least for me, at the part it was, I thought when you would sit on it, that the back of the couch would just snap in half. Like, that's legit what I thought would happen. So the rest of the night, before you head to bed, because I didn't want you to deal with you being pissed off that we spent our entire evening and possibly sacrificed you getting an F in that class on this couch to then have it be broken and unusable, I try to hide it all night from you. So I'm, like, putting a towel over it and, like, oh, don't move that side, let me get it. And, like, trying my hardest to make sure you don't know. And my anxiety is peaked. Like, I am so scared you're going to be pissed tomorrow. And I'm, like, trying my hardest to make sure you don't see it. And I'm just, like, freaked out. So, and it took a lot for me not to tell you, because I feel like I'm a very honest person. I don't like lying. I don't like lying to you, of all people. We have a very honest, open relationship, and I just felt very guilty not immediately telling you something like that.
Definition of guilty conscience.
Yeah, I just am like I feel bad about things too easily, and, like, I just have too much empathy and too much whatever. And things can make me feel really guilty sometimes. So I felt really guilty not telling you, and it took a lot out of me. And I think that's also why I couldn't sleep. So you had headed to bed, I cleaned off the couch and stuff like that. It's like 4:30 in the morning by the time I finished everything I wanted to finish with that. So you took, like, a little cat nap.
Like, what, 3.5 hours of sleep?
Yeah, and then got up. And you basically had gotten up, and at this point at 6, and your plan was to, like, go to the school, study a bit more, and then be there plenty of time for your test at 8 a.m. And I, at that point, when I saw that it was 4:30, I was like, I'm just gonna stay up. I wanted to make sure you got up because I was so scared your alarm was gonna go off and you were just gonna go straight back to sleep with how tired you were. Because when you get tired, you just, like, stop functioning as a human being.
Yeah, alarms have, like, no effect.
Well, just everything has no effect. You just can't do anything. Like, I feel like I've done stuff where, like, totally, like, I don't know, I feel like I can pop out of bed and if something needs done and I need to be there for it, like, I am up, I can move, I might not be the best, like, logical thinker and I might not be the best emotionally, but, like, I can be there, I can drive, I can get it done. You are incapable of doing adult activities in any sort of way. You can't drive, you can barely feed yourself when you get tired. So, yeah, and mind you, when you got up, it caused me more stress because you're all looking at the couch and you're like, hey, it didn't get too wet, and look at this, and look at that, and I was like, don't look at the crack, don't look at the crack, don't look at the crack. And I was so nervous. But yeah, and I think I made some matcha for you or something like that and sent you off.
And keep in mind, remember how I drank the, not 1, but 2 Starbucks drinks?
Oh, yeah.
Those 3.5 hours of sleep were 3.5 hours of, air quotes, sleep. And especially with, like, the hair dryer going, like, out here and stuff, like, it was more of laying there with my eyes closed, drifting in and out of, like, being awake and kind of being asleep.
And I told you, I was like, don't drink mine, you're going to stay up all night. And at that time, you're like, no, or you're going to end up staying up all night and you want to sleep, right? And you're like, no, I think I'm just going to study. And I was like, ugh. And I was trying not to convince you to drink it, but you did. So anyways, send you off for your final, get you all ready to go. You come back, you said that you thought you did pretty bad, and I felt really bad at that point, and that you said you didn't do a great job.
I did not feel super great about it.
Yeah, and I remember you told me you went up to the teacher and told her, like, yeah, this is what I did last night, so if my grade's bad, just don't think bad of me.
Kind of one of those, like, hey, I am fully expecting this might not be that great. I know I've done pretty well with the rest of the class, so, yeah, just,
sorry. Like, don't think badly of me, I got the information, but... So then you come home and you're already like kind of pissy about your test, and then I couldn't do it anymore. I had to tell you about the crack. So I finally show it to you, and I remember you were just like, oh, that's not a big deal. And I was relieved and slightly angry because I had put so much of my like nervous, anxious energy into like how I was going to tell you, how we were going to fix it, how we were going to do this, that, and like practicing what I wanted to say to you in my head, for you to just tell me it wasn't a big deal. Like, it kind of was a little frustrating, and I, at that point, I think slept only a couple hours as well. So, it was a situation.
Well, and then like we were telling you, the piece that was broke, like, literally wasn't a big deal. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't structurally hold anything. It's literally just there so that the outside cover, like, stays, like, flush on the outside. Like, that's...
Yeah,
it doesn't matter that it has a crack in it. It's the crack's not hurting or helping.
It's just so that the couch doesn't have an open back, basically. If they just closed it off. That's
and it's on the back of the couch. So even if it was a problem, it's like up against a wall.
So we could... the couch being the way it is that has a cover, I was thinking that we could totally buy like another small thin piece of wood that was like that, or composite wood or whatever. What is it called? Particle wood? And just slather that with some wood glue and it on, and we'd be good. And so, like, I was planning all these things, and I was looking up how to fix it. Like, I put a lot of energy into this because I wanted to come to you when I explained what happened with solutions. Because to ease the anger, especially if you were going to be, like, tired, I figured you were going to be even more upset. So, anyways, this story's gone long enough. We duct taped it and fixed it and took a long nap that day. And then, no, we didn't take a long nap that day. Didn't we go back to IKEA that day? The day after?
I don't think it was the day after.
Okay, I was about to be really irritated
after.
Okay, we came back later anyway. So the point being, we could have totally come back and gotten a couch and picked out a couch, leisurely, and one that we actually liked. And now I feel like I like this one. It's a little small. I wish it was a bit bigger.
It's a little uncomfortable. Like, I need a pillow behind me because the back doesn't go, like, very high.
Yeah, you're really tall, though. And, like, I feel like I can't, like, take a nap on it. Which
and I
is...
definitely can't take a nap on
it. Yeah, like, I have to curl up into, like, a little ball to take, like, a nap on it. And, like, it's okay. It'll cheap.
It'll do.
We sacrificed for it. And we'll keep it. It's a great, like, front room couch.
Yeah, like your, I can't think of what those rooms are called.
Front room?
Yeah.
They're called front rooms. The rooms that are at the front when you enter the house.
Isn't it frou-frou room or something?
There's some other names, yeah. But, like, front room, they have your living room and all that stuff, yeah. Like, it's a good front room couch where you just, like, can put it in there. Like, my parents' front room would have been perfect. Anyways, so it's okay. And
those of you wondering, I did get an A in the class.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
You got an A, which we were surprised, and then you got a B in some other class, and you were like, I studied really hard for that.
I spent hours studying for that.
I know, I felt so bad for you. I was like, oh.
Well, I honestly think I did really good on the final, because what she would do is she would replace a previous exam grade with your final grade if your final grade was better than any of your previous exam grades.
Oh.
So I think my final was actually really good and even replaced the grade on one of my past exams.
Wow. But, so yeah, that is, I just think about that story now, and it just, like...
It's stressful.
Yeah, I got stressed out, like, halfway through it, I, like, couldn't think about what I was talking about, and I don't know, it's just one of those things that we shouldn't have done. And whatever, we have a couch now, and and it's similar to the Missouri trip. We should tell them about that. And then having to go to graduation. So that'll be another podcast coming up, is how we did something similar. I don't know what is wrong with our time management skills.
We pretty much just go sleep. We don't need sleep.
Yeah, we always think that we're more badass than we are.
We're young and springy. We don't need to sleep.
Yeah.
And then, we're a little less young and springy than we think we are.
I know, like, it's starting to, like, wear on me. Like, I feel like I could do that in high school. Like, all the time, like, sleep didn't matter and whatever. And then, and a little bit into college. And now, like, it's starting to be like, oh, that felt different. A little winded from that. And soon I'm going to be like, I'm out for the count, guys.
I walked up 3 stairs. Come back for me.
Yeah. But anyways, we hope you enjoyed that story. Let us know by either, if you're listening on YouTube, giving this a like or a comment. If you're listening to this on my WordPress blog, you can also give it a like or a comment. If you'd like to see what else we are up to, we have, it's all me. Derek's not really on anything, but you can hear about Derek and stories about Derek on my blog, which is justapeekblog.com, justapeekblog.com. And you can also find me on social media at Molly Camper, MOLLYKAMPER, for everything. On the blog, I do recipes, DIYs, videos of like our ventures and stuff that we're up to. And anything I feel like. So check us out on there if you'd like, and we hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for listening.
Bye.